Keep a journal. Uh, this is how much I weigh. This is my waist. See, that's a big one because a lot of people are they're at the mercy of a scale.
The
Well,
BMI crew.
yeah, but a scale can be false negatives, false positives. Because if you're gaining muscle and losing fat, you're not going to lose weight. So what you need is that like tape measure around your waist, that kind of thing, because that's a real thing. Or count the amount of belt holes in your belt. That you're like, holy shit, man, I got to go to another belt hole, to buckle my belt because I've lost 3 inches around my waist. Yeah, but the log is a good thing too.
Because it's definitely something I did. Like I started walking again, and I cut out drinking soda, and it was just like I was looking at my diet, thinking it's not too bad. And then I looked at what I ate that day, and I was like, "Shit, you would put like crap into a Ferrari and expect it to drive.
Right,
Why are we doing
right,
that with our bodies?" And I was
right.
like, "Shit!" Like when you start looking at your, because like I love your style of training. It's the functional training. Like
Yes.
I don't know if you know the SAS guy, Chris Ryan.
I think I've heard of him.
Because he was one of the ones where he has a manual on how to work out, and he's saying like, you don't need anything. You can go to a tree and do pull-ups and do dips off it. And I love that about like the SES, the SEALs, etc. You'll be going into jungle, deserts everywhere, using the resources you have there, like stones, logs, whatever. Do you think that's a problem? Is that people go, I can't do it because I've got the gym? Because you say we need to train for the worst case scenarios. How do you get that through to people? They don't. If somebody's coming to rob you, they're not caring that you can't go to the gym that day. It's
Right.
what you've got there and then. How do you train for the worst case scenario? Do you think?
Oh well. One thing that I'm going to tell you too, because you reminded me of something here. Uh, when people have excuses, when I'm working with a guy on the range and I could see that he's overweight, but he's got good footwork, and maybe he's right around 40 years old or so. I'll say, dude, man, you have good footwork. What was the sport that you played in high school or college? Say, oh, baseball, or I was a tennis, or,
Mm.
I boxed or whatever it is. And I'll say, do you have kids? And he'll go, yeah, yeah. How old? And I'll say, how old are your kids? And I'll go, bro, you got to be around for those kids, man. Imagine that footwork 20 or 30 pounds lighter. And they'll go, yeah, you're right. But that'll reprogram, instant reprogramming. And a lot of those guys, I'll see them 6 months later, a year later, and I'll go, yeah, you look familiar. Were you in a course of mine? Yeah, I was, but that was 60 pounds lighter or heavier. I was like, holy shit, bro. But anyway, so that's part of it, right? How do we train for worst case scenario? Um, One is what's your focus? Is it protecting your family? Is it protecting yourself? Because you've probably heard me say this. There's 4 reasons why we should exercise, and I think these are important. And I think more and more people are going to catch on to this because this is Mac's philosophy on why we should exercise. It's
Hmm.
not about cosmetics. Cosmetics is a byproduct, right? We want to look good. Hell yeah, man! I want to look freaking good. I want chiseled abs. I want pecs.